Right. So today we're going to be diving deep into some pretty futuristic stuff.
Yeah.
Neuralink and Tesla Optimus, merging minds and machines.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of stuff from you guys on this and an interesting piece by Jörg-Owe.
Absolutely. Some really interesting insights from him.
Yeah. So let's see what we can uncover here.
Yeah. This is really not science fiction anymore, is it?
Yeah.
It's really happening right now. It's pretty fascinating.
Yeah. And I mean, we talk about Elon Musk a lot on this show.
Yeah.
But these are two, we're talking about like pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Pushing the boundaries.
Okay, let's start with Neuralink.
Okay.
So this is described by Schneppat as a brain-computer interface.
Yeah.
Or BCI.
BCI, that's right.
And it's essentially a tiny chip implanted in your brain.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like something straight out of a movie.
It does sound very science fiction-y, doesn't it?
Yeah, but Schneppat really goes into the details here.
Yes.
About how this is actually working.
Yeah.
I mean, they're using thousands of these microelectrodes to record and stimulate neurons.
It's incredible how they're interacting with the brain on such a complex level.
Yeah, and the thing is it's not just, let's make you smarter or let's, improve your memory or something like that.
Yeah.
Schneppat's really focused on the medical applications initially.
Right.
I mean, they're doing human trials right now.
That's right.
Focusing on people with paralysis.
Exactly.
So think about that. If you're someone who's been unable to move for years, and suddenly you could control a robotic arm with just your thoughts.
I mean that's incredible. Just the freedom and the independence that could provide.
Yeah, and I like that Schneppat, he's not just a cheerleader for all this.
No, he's not.
He brings up some of the potential downsides too.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he talks about is this risk of cognitive inequality.
Yeah.
If only the wealthy can afford these enhancements.
Right.
What happens to society?
Absolutely. It creates a whole new kind of class divide.
I mean, a whole new level.
Absolutely.
I mean, we already have a problem with that.
Yeah, exactly. So this just kind of exacerbates that even further.
Yeah. And so these are the kinds of things that we need to be thinking about.
We need to be thinking about it now before it's too late.
Before it's too late, before this technology becomes widely available.
Absolutely.
I mean,
what kind of safeguards do we need to put in place? How do we ensure equitable access?
Yeah.
These are questions we can't ignore.
Yeah. And it's not even just medical applications.
Right.
It goes beyond that.
Yeah.
I mean, what if we could enhance our memory and focus?
Yeah.
And learning.
Yeah.
And maybe even thought-to-thought communication.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually talks about a future where we could transmit complex ideas and emotions without needing words.
I know. It's both exciting and a little bit unnerving at the same time.
It's like, on one hand, it's just like, wow, imagine the possibilities.
Right, the collaboration, the understanding.
Well, collaboration and understanding.
Yeah.
But then again.
But then on the other hand, what about privacy? What about data security? Who has access to our thoughts?
Exactly.
How do we protect our mental privacy in a world like that?
Yeah, these are big questions.
These are big questions we're going to have to face at some point.
Definitely.
Okay, so we got Neuralink focused on the brain.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears a little bit to Tesla Optimus.
Okay.
And Schneppat describes this as a humanoid robot.
Yes.
Designed to perform tasks that humans typically do.
Right.
With a key difference, making physical work optional.
Fascinating, isn't it?
For humans. It's like taking us out of the equation for physical labor.
I mean, and Schneppat goes into, Optimus's evolution.
Yeah.
I mean, it can climb stairs, lift objects, even work in a Tesla factory.
It's amazing how quickly it's evolving.
He even mentions that Musk is predicting that Optimus someday costs less than the car.
I know.
I mean, can you imagine?
What does that mean?
What that would mean?
For various industries.
I mean,
if we have affordable, mass-produced humanoid robots.
Affordable.
Think about it.
And you could get rid of a lot of these dangerous jobs.
Absolutely, like mining construction.
Yeah, well,
took human lives at risk.
I mean, and think about the implications for, workplace fatalities and things like that.
Huge implications.
But, again, as with any new technology, there are potential downsides.
There are always downsides.
Schneppat doesn't shy away from those.
No, he doesn't.
What happens to
what happens to the people?
all the people whose jobs are displaced by robots?
My jobs are replaced by robots.
How do we manage that transition?
Yeah.
How do we ensure that everyone benefits from this technological revolution?
Okay, so we've got Neuralink,
Yeah.
focused on augmenting the human brain.
Right.
Tesla Optimus,
Right.
aiming to replicate
Right.
human capabilities externally.
Right.
And this is where it gets really interesting.
This is where it gets mind-blowing.
As Schnepphat points out, the potential synergy between the two.
Yes, exactly. Think about it. Imagine someone with paralysis controlling a Tesla Optimus robot with their thoughts.
Oh, wow.
Giving them the ability to move and interact with the world in a way they haven't been able to before.
Yeah.
We could be talking about a whole new era of cybernetics where technology becomes an extension of ourselves.
I mean, it's almost like something out of a science fiction novel.
Right. It really is.
But as Schnepphat reminds us,
this isn't just about cool gadgets and futuristic scenarios.
No, it's not.
There are real ethical and societal implications to consider.
Absolutely. And those implications are what make Schnepphat's work so compelling.
Yeah. And, one of the things that really struck me was his discussion of the regulatory landscape.
Yeah.
I mean, we need
guidelines, we need regulations.
Clear guidelines and regulations to ensure that these technologies are developed and used responsibly.
Absolutely. It's not about stifling innovation.
It's not about stopping it.
It's about making sure that it benefits all of humanity.
Yeah.
Not just a select few.
Yeah. We've seen what's happened with social media.
Exactly. You've seen how quickly things can go wrong.
Things can get out of control so quickly.
When there aren't proper safeguards in place.
So we need to learn from those mistakes and be proactive in establishing ethical frameworks for Neuralink and Optimus.
Yeah.
And actually, he mentions that some states are already working.
I know that's encouraging, isn't it?
On legislation related to brain-computer interfaces.
It's a good first step.
So that's a step in the right direction.
It is.
But I think one of the biggest challenges, as Schnepphat points out, is going to be this equitable access.
Equitable access, absolutely.
I mean, how do we...
If this really can enhance...
If Neuralink can really enhance cognitive abilities...
cognitive abilities. How do we prevent it from becoming just a tool... for further dividing society?
Exactly. It's a question that keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where the wealthy can afford to enhance their intelligence, their memory, their focus, and those who can't are left behind.
Yeah.
It would exacerbate existing inequalities in education and employment, even social mobility.
Yeah. I mean...
It's a really scary thought.
It's a scary thought.
And we need to address these concerns now before it's too late.
Yeah. And
I mean, these same concerns apply to Optimus as well.
Absolutely.
Schnepphat talks about widespread job displacement.
Job displacement, that's right.
As robots become more sophisticated and capable.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we do? I mean, how do we prepare for a future where millions of jobs are automated?
That's a big question, and I don't think anyone has the answer right now.
I mean, it's a daunting prospect.
It's a daunting prospect.
I mean, and Schnepphat, he doesn't offer any easy answers, but he does emphasize the need for some proactive measures.
He does.
Like retraining programs.
Like retraining programs, social safety nets.
Social safety nets.
Things to support those who might be displaced by automation.
Yeah. I mean, it's a reminder that technology isn't inherently good or bad.
Right.
It's how we choose to use it.
Exactly.
And adapt to its consequences.
Yeah, it's all about our choices.
That matters.
Yeah. And as Schnepphat so eloquently puts it, we need to have these conversations now before these technologies become so ingrained in our society that we lose the opportunity to shape their development and impact.
Yeah, it's like we're at a crossroads.
We are.
And we're going to have to...
We have to make some choices.
And we have to make them wisely.
And I think Schnepphat's point about this blurring of lines between human and machine is really thought-provoking.
It is.
If we can control robots with our thoughts
and
enhance our own cognitive abilities, With implants.
With implants.
I mean, what does it even mean to be human?
What does it mean to be human?
In the age of cybernetics.
Exactly. I mean, these are questions that Schneppat encourages us to grapple with.
It's both fascinating and a little unsettling at the same time.
It is, but that's the reality we're facing.
Yeah, I mean, are we headed towards a future where our minds are seamlessly integrated with technology?
And if so, what are the ethical and philosophical implications?
Huge questions, right?
Huge questions.
When these are big questions that...
Schneppat doesn't give us the answers.
Schneppat doesn't give us a framework.
Gives the answers, but he provides a framework.
For thinking about them.
Yeah. And that's what's so valuable about his work.
Absolutely. He inspires us to think critically and creatively about the future.
It's a call to action.
It is.
And he's urging us to engage in a thoughtful
and informed dialogue.
About the future of humanity.
About the future of humanity in a world that's increasingly intertwined with technology.
Yeah, it's not just about the technology itself.
It's about our values, our ethics.
It's about our values.
What kind of future we want to create.
Our ethics and what kind of future.
For ourselves and for generations to come.
We want to create for ourselves. Future generations.
It's a big responsibility, but it's one that we all share.
Yeah.
So we need to take it seriously.
It's a really powerful message. And I think it's really easy to feel overwhelmed.
I know.
By the pace of technological change.
It's happening so fast.
I mean, it's just
exponential.
happening so fast.
Yeah.
And it's easy to feel like we're just passive passengers.
Let's along for the ride.
On this train.
Yeah, we're not.
But Schneppat reminds us.
That we're not passive passengers.
We're not passive passengers.
We have the power to influence the direction of these technologies.
We have the power.
And ensure that they lead to a future.
On this thing.
That benefits all of humanity.
And to make sure it benefits all of humanity.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it.
Here we have it.
A deep dive into the world of Neuralink. Tesla Optimus. And the future they may hold. Guided by the brilliant insights. Of Jörg-Owe Schneppat. We hope this has given you plenty to ponder.
Lots to think about.
As we stand at the cusp of this technological revolution.
It's an exciting time to be alive.
It is an exciting time to be alive.
That's for sure.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time.
See you next time.
Yeah, it's almost like something out of a science fiction novel. Right? But as Schneppat reminds us, this isn't just about cool gadgets and futuristic scenarios. There are real ethical and societal implications.
Absolutely. And those implications are what makes Schneppat's work so compelling.
Yeah.
He doesn't just present the shiny, exciting side of these technologies.
Yeah.
He challenges us to think critically about their potential impact on humanity.
Yeah, one thing that really struck me was his discussion of the regulatory landscape.
Yes.
I mean, we need
guidelines, we need regulation.
Clear guidelines and regulations
to
ensure that these technologies are developed and used responsibly.
Absolutely. It's not about stifling innovation. It's not about stopping it.
It's about making sure that it benefits all of humanity.
Right.
Not just the select few.
Yeah, we've seen with social media, things can get out of control so quickly.
When there aren't proper safeguards in place.
So we need to learn from those mistakes and be proactive in establishing ethical frameworks for Neuralink and Optimus.
Yeah.
And Schneppat even mentions that some states are already working on legislation.
I know, that's encouraging, isn't it?
Related to brain-computer interfaces.
Yeah, it's a good first step.
So that's a step in the right direction.
It is.
But I think one of the biggest challenges that Schneppat points out is going to be ensuring equitable access.
Equitable access, absolutely.
I mean, if Neuralink really can enhance cognitive abilities, how do we prevent it from becoming a tool for further dividing society?
Exactly. It's a question that keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where the wealthy can afford to enhance their intelligence, their memory, their focus.
Yeah.
And those who can't are left behind.
It would exacerbate existing inequalities in education, employment, even social mobility.
It's a scary thought.
It's a really scary thought, and we need to address these concerns now before it's too late.
And I mean, these same concerns apply to Optimus as well.
Absolutely.
Schneppat talks about widespread job displacement as robots become more sophisticated and capable.
That's displacement. That's right. Yeah.
I mean, how do we prepare for a future where millions of jobs are automated?
Right. That's a big question, and I don't think anyone has the answer right now.
It's a daunting prospect.
It is a daunting prospect.
And Schneppat doesn't offer any easy answers.
No, he doesn't.
But he does emphasize the need for some proactive measures like retraining programs and social safety nets.
He does. Yeah, like retraining programs, social safety nets, things to support those who might be displaced by automation.
Yeah. It's a reminder that, technology isn't inherently good or bad.
Right.
It's how we choose to use it and adapt to its consequences that matters.
Exactly. It's all about our choices.
And Schneepat puts it really well. We need to have these conversations now.
No.
Before these technologies become so ingrained in our society that we lose the opportunity to shape their development and impact.
Yeah. It's like we're at a crossroads.
We are.
And we're going to have to make some choices.
We have to make some choices, and we have to make them wisely.
And I think Schneepat's point about this blurring of lines between human and machine is really thought-provoking.
Yes, it is.
If we can control robots with our thoughts and enhance our own cognitive abilities with implants.
Yeah, with implants.
I mean, what does it even mean to be human in the age of cybernetics?
Exactly.
What does it mean to be human?
Are we headed towards a future where our minds are seamlessly integrated with technology?
Yeah. Integrated with technology.
And if so, what are the ethical and philosophical implications of that?
Huge questions, right? Huge questions.
I mean, these are big questions that...
Yeah, Schneepat doesn't give us the answers, but he gives us a framework.
Schneepat doesn't give us the answers, but he provides a framework for thinking about them.
For thinking about them, yeah.
And that's what's so valuable about his work.
Absolutely. He inspires us to think critically and creatively about the future.
It's a call to action.
Yeah.
I mean, he's urging us to engage in a thoughtful and informed dialogue about the future of humanity in a world that's increasingly intertwined with technology.
Yeah, about the future of humanity.
Yeah.
It's not just about the technology itself.
It's about our values, our ethics, and what kind of future we want to create for ourselves and future generations.
Exactly. It's a big responsibility, but it's one that we all share. So we need to take it seriously.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're on the verge of a whole new chapter in human history, doesn't it? Schneepat's work really brings these potential changes into focus.
It does, and it really highlights how these two seemingly separate things, Neuralink and Optimus, could actually weave together a future that's both exhilarating and daunting.
Yeah, and one thing Schneepat emphasizes is we're not just talking about futuristic fantasies here. These technologies are already being developed and tested. I mean, Neuralink has human trials happening.
Yeah, that's right.
Tesla is constantly pushing the boundaries with Optimus.
Pushing the boundaries.
Makes you wonder what the world's going to look like in 5, 10, 20 years.
It's a question that Schneepat leaves us pondering. He doesn't offer us a crystal ball, but he does provide us with the tools to, engage in some informed speculation. And I think that's what's so valuable about his work. He inspires us to think critically and creatively about the future.
So, I mean, we've dived deep into Schneepat's insights. What are your biggest takeaways? I mean, what stands out to you as the most crucial points for our listeners?
Well, I think one of the things that Schneepat really drives home is that technology is a double-edged sword. Neuralink and Optimus have the potential to revolutionize medicine, enhance human capabilities, reshape the way we work and live, but they also present these unprecedented ethical and societal challenges.
He really stresses the importance of proactive discussion and planning, doesn't he? We can't just sit back and let this stuff unfold without considering, the impact on humanity.
Exactly. Schneepat urges us to engage in thoughtful dialogue, establish ethical frameworks, consider the long-term consequences of our choices. Ask ourselves those tough questions about privacy, equity, the potential for misuse. We need to ensure that these technologies serve humanity, not the other way around.
It's a reminder that we all have a role to play in shaping the future. It's not just up to the scientists and engineers and policymakers. It's a conversation we need to have as a society.
I think that's a really powerful message to end on. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the pace of all this technological change. But Schneepat reminds us that we are not passive passengers on this journey. We have the power to influence the direction of these technologies and make sure they lead to a future that benefits all of humanity.
Well, there you have it. A deep dive into the world of Neuralink Tesla Optimus, the future they may hold, guided by the brilliant insights of Jörg-Owe Schneepat. We hope this has given you plenty to ponder as we stand at the cusp of this technological revolution. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time.